It is another wonderful time as you join us on the Engendered show, bringing you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, on Kaftan TV. I am your host for today, Bukola Ogunboje.
It is Engendered o'clock on Kaftan TV, your favorite station, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Confidence Ruben. We'll quickly go on a short break, and when we come back, continue. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Engendered show, and if you are just joining us, well, you haven't missed much, so we're just about to go into today's wonderful topic. We're going to be talking about social media trends, and it's time to have fun and joke a little bit in the studio today. And discussing the social media trends for today with us is our in-house guest. He goes by the name Bright Chukwuebuhi, and he's a tech journalist. Welcome to the studio.
Take your flowers to properly pronounce his final name. Thank you. Welcome. Good evening, Bright. It's good to have you join us once again.
It's really nice that you joined us. Quick, what is your portfolio, tech journalist? Just quickly explain it to us, because I want to know more.
Yeah.
It's just like a paparazzi. Because the way the world is moving and everything. So you need to add spice to your journalism. So, but tech journalism is about a journalism how to do. You are in charge of
the
tech aspects. We are talking about system, computer accessories. You know about it. You know about ICT.
So that's it for people that want to go into that
tech journalism.
We now have another aspect to go into tech journalism. And the way tech is going on, is definitely a good area.
And nothing goes on air without the tech journalists.
Right. You're welcome. Welcome to the Engendered show. We usually have like a song, but like for months now I've not finished composing it.
No, we are not doing it today.
But it will be alright. But let me just give you welcome to
Bukola. It must be a chorus in the church.
She's not. Let us go straight into the trends for today.
Okay.
So it says here that FG, federal government, declares June 6th and June 9 public holidays for Eid al-Adha celebration. That is, in layman terms, Big Salah.
So Bright, how is it going to be, your public holiday?
Well, to our Muslim brothers and sisters, it's their season, and it's time. The most important thing is that what we are praying to God is for a peaceful celebration. And to my friends out there, expect me at your doorstep.
I like celebrations in Nigeria, basically because of the fact that it's such a giving time. People give. And most importantly, people give food. And in this economy right now, people are hungry, and I think it's a good time, for the spirit of sharing and giving and kindness to be out there.
But have you noticed that the prices of things in the market has skyrocketed? I mean, a Muslim friend of mine went to the market to price, ram. Just small ram, Bukola, Bright, 400k.
Oh my God.
Small ram. So what happens to the big rams or big cows? Some people like
used cows. You know that, like, I think it was on the news yesterday, the traders are complaining that there's low patronage. And one of them said that one person had to buy goats instead of ram.
Right? As an alternative. Because the price of ram is too high.
What I would say in this is that whatever your budget can carry, can you please go for it? This is just after how many days the celebration is over, and you are back to face your family, back to face your reality. So, but I think it's the Muslim thing. I think it's that ram that makes it so special.
Exactly.
So,
it's
not everybody that can afford that amount of money to get in 400k. There's one of 1 million naira. So it depends.
The increment is quite much, because according to the news yesterday, it went from 200,000 naira to 700,000 naira. That's
today
on the average. Average RAM usually is like 200, but now I said they are buying per RAM 700. That is much.
And before tomorrow, it will still
increase. And you know, in Nigeria, any celebratory season
for cash out.
Nigerians are opportunists at the core.
And we are the one doing ourselves.
And that's so bad.
We are our problem. We are our problem. Because tell me why you buy something for 100 naira and you decide to sell it 500 naira because you are in a festive period. Overgain. I will keep calling government this, government that.
They will call it a smart move.
Smart to make money. Smart.
It's alright. Okay, let's move from there now. This is coming from the SSA to President Tinubu. He said development and prosperity. It took Singapore 35 years, India 50 years. Now he is calling for Nigerians to have patience. To be patient with President Tinubu. My question is, if it took Singapore 35 years to become developed, to get to the level where they are now, then India 50 years. So I'm asking the SSA, how many years will it take Nigeria to get to that level?
The thing is, we like to compare.
The comparison is something else entirely.
No, first of all, what do you think about this?
I don't know why when it comes to national matter, our government likes to refer us with other countries, especially with foreign governments. I don't know why. Same way when there was minimum wage, they say outside country, the US does this, they will always compare us, but they've never sat down and asked themselves, this country that we compare our citizens with, they actually pay their citizens. Do they pay their citizens? This country, they actually use the tax of their citizens to develop
the country.
Do they actually do that in their own country? So imagine this is there's always an excuse for failure. This is that just the thing. So for him to come out and say that, I'm disappointed in as much as the damage in this country is much, but this is not the right time to tell Nigerians such a story, because you and I know that there is money in this country.
Nigeria is how many years now?
Less.
60 something, right? And they are telling us to still be patient. To give our leaders more.
To give them extra 30 years.
Right?
So that's so bad.
The thing is, it can't even be compared. These countries we are comparing us to are on some level. Nigeria is a secular state. It's a secular nation. We are multi-everything, multi-ethnic, multi-language. But first of all, how do you manage that whole situation?
Exactly.
This government, is it here for us or here for him? Like, you are comparing to Asian countries where I will not say most of them, but in some of them they only practice maybe 1 or 2 party system.
Exactly.
And you come down to Nigeria where it's multi-party system.
Political parties.
You have AA, you have AB, you have AZ. I'm sorry.
Different ideologies, different policies, different rules.
More is coming.
More.
Exactly.
You see a new party emerging.
Always a problem moment for election. You got me heavy. I guess we don't have to laugh about this issue, because
I'm asking myself, like, when did this political party emerge?
Actually, when during my service here, that was during election time, and when I went to polling units, I went to vote, because as a core member I was part of the outdoor staff. So when I saw the party on the ballot paper, I begin to ask myself, when did this one came into existence? This one came into existence. Like different parties. I think you and be asking yourself, now who are you going to vote and vote for? Who are you going to vote for? So I think the time has come for us to adopt the system of one or two party system.
Right?
Let's know who is where our problem is coming from.
So
The whole thing is not making
But in
sense.
Nigeria, does it not even seem like we're practicing two-party system? Because it's either PDP or APC. Never party join. We set themselves in there, but
no way.
it didn't work. So this, in a country that seemingly has a lot of parties that should have, the leverage to go up there and change some things, but no, we still have two parties running it.
So the other parties are just there for competition.
Exactly.
Spending money unnecessarily. These are resources that are meant to develop the nation. You know how much some of these politicians pump during election?
First of all, to get a ticket is 100 million.
Okay.
That 100 million is enough to send a lot of children to school for
And at
scholarship.
the end of the day, you lose the election. So that money has gone like that. And so we will know that they will truly lose that election, but they will still go in there.
I feel like some of them do this for popularity.
Okay.
They just want to be on it will be recorded.
Okay.
I was one time a presidential candidate.
Okay.
So because for instance now, 2027 is not yet here. They already started planning.
Of course,
So sometimes I see this government. You see, it's a clear identity that these governments don't have youth hearts. They don't have the citizen at heart. They're just for themselves. They are here to satisfy themselves and do whatever they want to do and enter that. You can imagine what the SSA is saying. So imagine a government, and APC was the one that handed over power to APC. So we presume that the person coming to power must have known the weakness and the problem. So you are coming now to solve a problem. But you are still coming out that there is still a problem.
And what really baffles me is that with the pressing issues in Nigeria right now, security, food insecurity, what most of our leaders are concerned about is 2027 election.
If tomorrow the world will end.
For this like what is happening in Benue State is so but like the massacre, the killings, like sometimes I wonder, is it that these people don't think and somebody somewhere is sitting down is thinking about how to collide, how to mesh together to come and pull somebody, like, and it's uncalled for.
Honestly, the politics in Nigeria is just for the politicians.
Of course.
It's like they all know
citizens are not involved.
I think we need to get more involved. We do need to get more involved because it's when we don't get involved enough, it seems like we don't care. And these people are blatant with their lies. They are not even lying like in a hidden form. The lie is so obvious, so glaring. It's so glaring. Like why? Please treat us like citizens. Okay, you want to lie? Lie. Lie and lie well.
I'm not supporting that. They should lie.
No, at least then they won't take us for fools.
Yeah.
Because I remember years ago someone came to the front of Nigerians and said a snake swallowed money.
For me, I was thinking probably it's just a joke.
The snake swallowed money was real. And then another person came later that monkey swallowed money.
In the same countries that we are. And most Nigerians believed. And nobody said anything. That was how the matter died.
I feel like these governments that they just anything they come up with, that after some time they shout, everything will cool off.
But because the law is not just
I think been following the trends. Recently, Nigerians have been trying to hold government, officials, accountable, and it has been working.
And I think that's why they came up with this press briefings, ministerial press briefings.
It has been working. I think if we keep on pressing, if we keep on, holding them accountable at some point, they will have to respond back. Because why are you not doing your job when you're supposed to?
I don't know if they said what this government hears is protest. And if you ask me, I will say that this country, with the way it's going, I think it's only revolution that can help us to reset.
Did you forget 2020?
You see
Yeah.
You see the killings that happened during the SARS. I don't know how to put it, but Nigerians of then and now is not the same. Everybody is now wise and everybody knows what to do.
Everyone is wise and more beaten down now. I feel like Nigerians are just more beaten down now.
I think there is a movement called, is it Take It Back movement?
Take it back?
Concerning, is it June 12th, something. But I think some of our leaders or some politicians are trying to beat that down. In fact, they are now against public agitation, protest and all that. And that is the only way Nigerians can voice out.
Oh my God. You know that, like, some people will say that if Nigeria would be made into a series, it will be on ending. Season 100, season 1 million, season 2 million.
And the movie itself.
Yes, it is crazy.
Okay, we still have another one before we move to the fun part. Now, this one is coming from National Assembly pertaining 2025 budget. So, insertions by the National Assembly in the 2025 budget. Now, this is the fragmentation of the budget. Let's just look for the one that we are concerned with here. Projects. Okay, street lights, that's types of projects. Street lights, the frequency 1,477. Now this is the amount allocated to that project, 393.29 billion naira for street lights. Okay, let's move down. We have road construction and rehabilitation, frequency 1,300. Now this is the amount, 1.44 trillion naira. Right, let's even start with the street lights. What's your take on that monetary allocation?
I feel like this government is they're joking with us, and I really joking with the citizen. And this is just an avenue to stack up money for their election 2027. And that's just the simple truth. They're stacking up money for their 2027 election. Because you can't tell me that you want to use 3.92 billion to install street lights. That means even China self has not.
Someone said Nigeria will become the light of the world.
We've gotten to the point.
I want to really try to understand this budget allocation.
I want to think that
I don't know if they feel like Nigerian citizens are or something. I don't know what they take us as. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder the system.
And there are people who are proving this. To be honest, look at the frequency, look at the amount. Billions of naira.
It is outrageous. Street light.
For life.
It's not transformer that will the street light will it work on its own? And it's not going to generate power from somewhere.
That last year, that was I think 2023, beginning of last year, there was an installation of solar street lights all over the country, all over the states. The government released that budget. So are you telling me that those solar lights are no longer working?
Now they want to put street lights.
The thing is, I mean, let us just think about it logically that in Nigeria now, as much as we have the metropolitan areas, the busy areas, most areas in Nigeria are rural. So let us try to think maybe they are taking this light to those
the rural parts.
And another thing is, you know, the thing in Nigeria is maintenance. They don't do that. And you also have, I'm telling you, this is fact. We all know it. They put street light there for you to see, and some Nigerians will go there and steal it.
Vandalize it.
Vandalism. Now, when you have a place where they've put street light before and it gets stolen, they have to keep on replacing. Okay, so everywhere all fooling each other now. It's a country of foolishness.
Let me say, in as much as I'm not supporting the vandalism of anything, but you know what causes all this is poverty. When people are hungry, they are in the state of desperation to do anything. So, for instance, during the protest, the peaceful protest, end bad governance protest. You see, the people left the protest and started vandalizing a traffic light and everything because they were hungry. They needed to say something. But that aside, since they saw until they've seen that people vandalize this, what solution? How is the like? Sometimes I wonder, is it that we don't have budget, we don't have a place for solution to create a solution to a problem, or we keep feeding them. Okay, they stole a street light today. Tomorrow they will mount up a new one.
You cannot even sit down and ask what exactly is the reason behind such art,
which is put in place to stop this art from happening.
Street lights now is not like a pressing issue.
Poverty is there. The thing is, the government is not doing what they're supposed to do, fine. But is removing that street light the problem, really? Is removing the street light your problem? Do you know that somebody can get killed because you remove that street light?
Yeah, because so dark.
Two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs don't make a right, and that's what some Nigerians fail to get.
Another thing you also know, not just poverty alone, being educated. No, when you educate people on the right and wrong, they will know what to do. If you tell a child, don't touch this flower, it's going to cause you harm, the child will pick that and it will register in his or her subconscious. Say, mommy, daddy said if I touch this, I will get harm. Do you understand? So the parents has already do what that is done education, they educated the child. So I'm sorry to say this, majority of our northerners are not educated. So, and most of them are on street. Do you understand? These guys don't go to school. So, what measures are the government putting to send these people to school?
Honestly,
because you don't expect someone that actually an educated person can't just stand climbing the street and to remove it, because he or she knows this is important to my street. If I remove this, there will be darkness. Do you understand? So education and poverty, I think is the root cause of this.
But the federal government is not only, as in this responsibility of eradicating poverty and education is not just their sole responsibility. We individuals, like NGOs, individuals, groups, can also help the federal government to curb this poverty and
the thing is, education to a certain extent in Nigeria is free.
Now
it is. From primary, if you are in Nigeria is not.
Are you saying it's supposed to be free? Because right now, I'm not sure.
Education now is, I think, it's a bit expensive compared to them.
The thing is, I'm talking about the fundamental education right now. The government provides.
Yes.
Nigeria we practice federalism, right?
Yes.
So you have the state under the federal. The state does all these things. I don't know about the north here, but in the west, I have a younger sister that goes to state school. She's paying minimum little amount. Now let's say she's about to get into university. That's where it gets difficult. So are you telling me that somebody cannot educate themselves to that level? Are you telling me that an SSC holder now does not know that they need street lights?
I'm not sure they know.
Not all of them know.
I mean, there is a part for the government to play, but there's also a part for we as the citizens to play. It's not always on the government. Everything, no. You know that something is wrong. Yes, the country is bad, but two wrongs don't make a right.
That's true.
If we keep on saying it is bad, it is bad, it is bad, then it will just be an eye for an eye something. This country will not be safe.
It gets worse. Every day.
I think this is where the roles of parents comes into play. But now, talk about the Amajiris on the street. Where are their father? Where is their mother?
Okay.
Honestly, that one is talking for another day. Let us move away from that. Yes, and now let us move into the more interesting part. Let us leave Nigeria issue, because if we keep on talking about this, it will be endless. It will be endless. So now you're one of the weird people. First of all, let me quickly say, Aki and Popo. Aki and Popo. Okay, somebody came online and said that. the real ones know Popo was the one with the top tier acting that carried both of them. So is that true for you? Like, how do you see this?
Popo is the fair one, right?
Yeah, the Popo is the fair one.
It's Popo.
Oh my God! How are you?
My stickers, I think it's Popo.
The thing is that I can totally relate to this. I felt like Popo was doing it, but when I went through the comment and people were like, oh, they both played their part because Popo was more impulsive. He was more crazy with the ideas, and actually was also more down to earth.
Yeah.
He used to do that. Popo would be like, I think they complimented each other so well. But it just seemed like Popo shone more, like it was just more troublesome, more
Popo is like the most stubborn. Like he will not agree. And in fact, when he presents a situation that looks impossible, he will tell you that it's possible. Meanwhile, it's not possible.
My God! Honestly,
he's the most funniest one.
Don't look back to don't look back and say the old days were good or stuff like that. It's better to look forward, but
sometimes you have to take a look back.
This time when there was no social media, everybody was just sitting there in front of the TV watching
Popo.
We should all relate as a country.
These guys are legends. They made our childhood.
Of course.
Honestly,
It's fun. Honestly, because it's not like they made it fun. Honestly, just like Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry is for the outside country. Why Nigeria is actually a Popo?
So like they made. Imagine when they say what movie? I can't remember what movie. Everybody.
I remember. Is it Dorcas? Nostalgia, like it's just coming back.
Whatever we are saying, I don't think Gen Z.
I think they watched the recent actor of Popo, but
now the way they are acting, it's not that funny. Like
they were just there. They were it was so funny. I think those two people should get like a lifetime achievement prize, like abroad where they give I think comedians Mark Twain awards. I think they should get like a lifetime achievement award. Like they did a lot for like
I think
certain
Mr.
generation.
Ibu was one that was always acting with them. And he's late.
You know when you watch the movie and you see Mr. Ibu, Sam Loco, like Chiwetel, Sophia, that red cup man. You remember the red cup movie? That is the red cup already. That was about to die.
They really made Nollywood.
It makes sense. You don't know what they have
honestly, if you ask me, I would say this period, the Nollywood movie of them was
better than now.
It was educating, unlike what we are seeing now.
Now what we see,
the king let her marry the man. The queen let her fall in love with the great man. Like so many, movie that you don't.
Welcome back, esteemed viewers. If you're just joining us, well, you haven't missed that much because we are still in the fun part of the show. We are discussing trending issues on the social media space. Alright, so now let's take this. This has to do with Christendom, Christianity. Right. 200 pastors have been fired by a church in Nigeria for not meeting their financial targets. 200 pastors.
We don't by chance say the church.
But no, they didn't say the church. They didn't mention the church.
We really need to know the church.
So far, what's your take on this? I mean, I don't know what Christendom these days is turning into. What's your take on this?
First of all, I would say I'm disappointed. I'm actually disappointed. The church started missing it when they start aligning themselves with the pattern of the world.
Trends, right?
So this is imagine sacking pastors, like you sack them, like what? In as much as that, I still blame people that they sack because in a situation whereby I saw something. I saw an offer on social media. That was last month. I saw whereby somebody put a portal created just the same way people send out an advert for job.
Okay.
They say, we are hiring pastors. You must have this qualification. So I saw it. I said, wow. So it has now gotten to the point whereby people now, the same way people look for job, people now look for job
in the house of God.
People now look for job in the house of God. So peradventure, this might what have happened, and they now gave them target just the same way they gave real estate people targets.
Or bankers.
Targets to go and get customers, to go and get clients,
to go and get members.
To go and get members. So what is that? It's bad. You see, the matters of the Christendom is sometimes when I begin to talk about it, it's demoralized me, because I've sat down and read the book of Acts of Apostles, and I've read how the apostles were working together, how they were doing things in common,
in harmony.
Like if you observe the life of Peter, John, how they did things, even at a point, there was a point whereby the contribution team was trying to become a problem. They say, we can't be doing ministry of the tables, we need to dedicate matters. That was why they appointed Stephen. They say this appointment, 7 men of honest reports. That was when they appointed Stephen and 7 others, and they became in charge. The Bible said, and men will sell their land, bring to the church, and share. They say nobody was lacking. Nobody was lacking. It's in the Bible. You know, the truth is that people don't read their Bible. You see, nobody was lacking. Now fast forward to your present church. How many persons can sell their things? You see, they say, if possible, this one will want to hold in his wealth.
Generational wealth.
It is me that is me that pastors know, and pastors too. I'm also blaming pastors too, because pastors are fond of, when they see that you are now you are the one that sowed the highest seed, it become the song. That's my that's my spiritual song.
That's true.
All my life I grew up in church, I worked in church, I served in church, and I've seen things. I've seen things, and it's bad. It's bad. It says nobody. The Bible says, do not give people favoritism. Everybody should be equal. You don't dedicate people. Because this person gives you 1 million seed doesn't mean the person that gives you 10,000 naira seed is not useful. It might be what he has, might be the last coin that the person has that he brought to you. So now you are sacking them because they are not meeting target. Maybe you've told them to go and bring souls, people that are supposed to be in another church. You are telling them to go and remove them from the church they are serving, to bring them to your own so that they can raise offering for you. That's bad. I wish the church name was better.
It doesn't mention. These are pastors. I mean, the church or the Christendom, I know pastors are being called, right? I mean, okay, through visions, or they are being ordained. But it's like these ones, they were given employment letter to come and work in the house of God.
But we're not talking about this employment of pastors. I don't think it's such a far-fetched idea. Yeah, because you have some pastors that might not be spiritually growing in the church where they are, and they might not have the opportunity, to just move and go and open their own church like that, because they don't believe you need to open a new church to start talking about, the things of the Lord.
You're talking about submitting on that side. No. If this is aside, this is different from what
we were saying. It clearly shows that this particular church is being monetized. The Spirit of God is not in this church. It is not spiritualized.
Every month you get 1 million. So are you getting it? So is
you can't even see such among the Muslims.
Well, the thing is, I think this, Muslim Christian talk, we should stop comparing ourselves. We should just work on our own faith as Christians. And the thing is, I find it, another thing is the congregation itself needs to start I will not say, yes, the Bible says, you need to submit to your leader and stuff. But when they are doing something wrong, clearly, they should have people that hold them accountable. They should have people that hold them accountable, and that's why I'm not preaching church, but I don't go to all these one-man churches, I don't go there.
Okay.
I call them franchise churches. That's what I call them. Franchise churches, because they have there are more ways to hold them accountable there. But in some of all these people that will just wake up today and say they are called, and they just open one church and start to drain their congregations.
I feel like what we need now as Christians, we should possess the spirit of discernment. We should be able to know where we are supposed to be. You should be able to know the church you're supposed to be. If you have the spirit of discernment, when you come into a church, you should be able to know, there's something wrong. There's something wrong about this pastor. This is not it.
But that's because we have half-baked Christians everywhere. I'm not a full-baked one myself, but I just know that there are some things that logically, I know, yes, we follow faith, like Nigeria,
like leave spiritualism aside.
Imagine the pastor the other time was selling soap in church. How dare you?
This is
spiritual soap. What is the monetary approach I'm talking about?
Any Christian, you go to a church and the pastor opens their mouth to say they are selling something, anointing oil, holy water, anything wrong.
The truth is that when you talk about these things, some of them will come and attack you, but the truth is that from the beginning it was never so.
It was never.
These things are not meant to be sold. You see, the gift freely have you received, freely shall you give.
They don't, like you said, people don't read their Bible. So let us attribute it to that as well. Let us attribute it to that.
Exactly.
But Christians need to start doing better. You need to start holding your leaders accountable. I am very, very particular about Christian leaders, because we have you have different types of leaders with their different sort of influences that they have. And you know, in a country that is highly religious like Nigeria, our spiritual leaders have power, a lot more power than a political leader.
That's right.
So they have to be very aware of what they are saying. They need to start holding a lot of what is Khan doing. What are they doing especially? They need to start holding these people accountable. A pastor cannot come out and be saying trash. Sanction them. You are selling soap, sanction them. Yes. We need to stop following religion blindly at times.
And that's because you see people, some will just sleep and wake up today that want to open church. Whether God calls him or not.
They should
move from this junction to next church.
They should start to, maybe they should start to add spirit to physical and start to look into all these people. And somebody is spiritual as they can now, they are spiritual leaders. Of course, they should be able to discern
Is it not when the leader of the camp is appointed by the spirits?
Exactly, and not the political way. So it's a vicious cycle. It goes round.
It runs that from the head. So you see, the issue of Christianity is, in fact, we need the help of God. We keep saying it, and it doesn't make sense. That's not what the Bible says we should be doing. So we are meant to be out there defending the body of Christ, talking, speaking, so that the other believers whom that is watching, they watch us and see what we do. So when we see Christians, especially pastors, drag, just like I was ashamed last 3 weeks, I saw people called the media house and did a protest. And they say they are Christian agitators, that they are not happy the way they are being attacked, Christians are being attacked, they are not happy the way government are being attacked, and they even mention name of the political people that attack them. I felt ashamed. I said, have we gotten to this point whereby you are now fighting for God? So do you understand? It's because we've belittled ourselves to this story.
And because they feel that is the only way they can voice out, that's the only way they can be heard.
So is in fact we need the help of God.
We're going to move away from Christian, because that's another topic
for another day.
So to keep on going. Somebody said, I don't believe parents love all their kids equally. There's always a favorite child. So what do you think about that?
Last time I checked my Bible, it was because of the love Jacob had for Joseph that caused issue. But the truth remains that in families, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
You see, I think it's normal.
It happens.
Like,
No, it's not in my family. It's not favorite
Are
child.
you serious?
Yes, it's
It
equal.
happens. See, there are
It's equal.
I don't know how I put it. There are bounds between just like my first son and mothers. There are bounds that I don't know, when you tell them about what their son is, they don't want to know, they don't want to hear. Do you understand? It's just, I think it's natural.
It's natural.
It can't stop.
In my own family,
No, that one you're talking about first one and it's a different thing. It's different.
it's part of it.
It's to me I feel it's different. Like you have a particular child that you favor more.
No.
Normally a mother and the first son they are close. Same thing with first daughter. But I'm talking of you having, apart from these two positions, having a favorite child that you treat more specially than the other children. It's not in my family. It's not normal because it causes problem. Calm down. It causes problem among siblings. That's the right thing. So it's not normal.
It does.
You love every child equally. The ones you don't love, the way you love that special one, feels inadequate, feels inferior. It's like my parents actually give birth.
I don't think it happened. I know it happened. I know it happened.
But you know that it happens in family.
But and it's not normal. If you're saying it's normal, it's not normal.
It's not normal.
It's the frequency of the love. When I'm talking about favorite child, it doesn't mean that your parents don't show you love. But like, let me tell you, for instance now, I know that it does cause problem when the parents make it so obvious.
It's not obvious these days. It's obvious these days. Yes.
In my family, we all know that our father's favorite is the last born. See, she will say, it's like she has his button. What will you tell him? He will shout at you. And what you tell, the same thing. He will take it, so lively, so
That's what I'm saying.
That's why you will not send that child. Tell daddy that.
Do you know why David felt so bad about Absalom? We are going scripture, but this is not
Let's not go scripture.
What I'm saying is nonsense. This is natural. You can't stop.
I don't think it's.
I don't support it.
But on the way, it's bad.
Love all child equally.
It's good to love all your children.
It goes to an extent, it affects some of these children psychologically. And by the time they get married, they repeat same thing.
But you know what? I think for parents also, I think it differs. Because a first child for a parent is very, my first child, regardless of what sex the child is. Then the second child is like, please, I don't have energy for you. Then the third child is like, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. Like, I have a neighbor, when she gave birth to her first child, is my first child is my first child. And the second child was like, move away from me. Not move away from me, but like, I could see that the affection, even now she's a fourth child. The love she has for that first child is still different.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's natural.
You see, sometimes it is based on experience. Maybe when the mother was giving birth to that child, there were some issues or something she passed through. Do you understand? You don't understand. This is natural.
I'm not understanding.
I'm telling you that based on stories I've heard. So when I was giving birth to this child,
different.
I passed through it. Do you understand? So because of that,
love that child more because the other ones did not pass through a lot.
I think for some parents it depends. They love, like, the favoritism depends on every child has what they're good at.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you understand?
That's right.
So it's like that for some parents. It's not as if they love them, like they love one. It's just that, you are good at this, I love you for that. You are good at this, I love you for that. You are good at this, I love you for that.
Just one child, especially from the rest.
Honestly, they should.
It's not normal. It's not nice.
I don't know, for siblings that feel left behind because of a child, keep on sending that child to the parents so that you will get something fast. So
let's take the next one. Okay, this one has to do with if someone is asking the question, what is a subtle sign someone isn't a good person? What is that one sign that shows that this particular person is not a good person? And someone gave a response here. He said, if the person has no long-term friendships. What's your own take? What's the sign that indicates the person is not a good person for you?
The person says if the person doesn't have
long-term friendships.
No, it doesn't. People can decide to cut off people when they discover that these people are not meant for me. Like journey of destiny.
Okay, so to you, what's the sign that shows that this particular person is a good person? What's that sign for you?
In fact, for me, I actually did I did a content on what I'm about to say now. I think it's envy and jealousy. When you notice your friend is envy and is a jealous type, I think
that person is not a good person.
To me, that person is not a good person, because someone who is envy can kill you. Somebody who is envy can plot so many things
silently. What's yours, Bukola?
Honestly, like I'm not somebody that looks so deep at people, except maybe a situation presents itself. I have my friends. As an adult, is it hard for you to make friends right now? It's very hard for me, because I have my friends and I don't bother. You want to show your bad side, show. You want to show your good side, show. It's none of my business.
And I choose my circle. I choose my friends.
Honestly, I don't think I look so, except if I keep on I keep on having contact with this person, and the more you have contact with someone, the more you know if they are good or not. So I don't just base it on one thing. No, I don't. I don't look at the surface that way. Like if you meet people in different situations and different
people kind of disguise. They act like a good person today. Tomorrow,
these two boils down to why it's important everybody should have the spirit of discernment. Should be able to discern.
It's not everybody that can that has that patience to be discern. Some people just like making friends, and they're everywhere, and
very social.
They just get into contact with people, and they get into contact, and at the end of why
anyhow.
Exactly. So I think you should just be particular about how you relate to the person, because sometimes what you see in people is what you don't like in yourself. Do you understand that? Like when you see certain things in people, it's something you don't like in yourself. So you just have to have patience with people, I guess. And now whatever you bring to me is how I will treat you. Honestly.
Okay. Let's take us to the last one. I think
this one has to burn. The last one, it has to burn. Now, my friend has been dating his woman for 3 years. Today he posted a picture of them both, and I playfully asked him when he will propose. The guy said, "She's not my type for a wife." 3 years.
Another day for you to fear men. Fear that gender.
You don't say that.
Like 3 years. 3 years.
She's not your type. So what have you been doing with her for 3 years?
I feel like men actually know what they want from the beginning, from the start.
I've heard this a lot.
I keep hearing it.
So men actually know what they want. You ladies are deep, and you guys unfolds your. So you guys are deep. You guys keep unfolding what is inside the traits you guys have. So probably for that 3 years, the lady is unfolding what she has in her, and the guy couldn't bear it. I'm not trying to support it, but eventually during their relationship or courtship or whatever, the lady was okay, good. Now the journey has begun. No matter how bad you are, you can't hide your character for 3 years. You must definitely show it. 3 years is too hard. You can't hide. So at that point, he's beginning to see some loopholes. Say no, this one. But the fact is that for him not to fear the lady, this way is got it.
She's not my type for a wife. Okay, she's his type for just dating. And you said men knows what they want from the onset, right? So from the onset of this relationship, you should have known, should have been able to detect that this kind of person.
That is why I say you guys hide your characters. You guys are deep.
Yet you still know what you want. No. You can't eat your cake and have it right.
That's why I say maybe she was pretending at the initial stage.
Honestly,
now the journey has taken 3 years and she can't pretend no more.
This topic,
I think he was just using how to while away time.
You know that I'm not a man, so I cannot say for men, but they keep on saying that they know what they want.
They know what they want, exactly.
You as a woman too, know what you want. I'm not preaching relationship, I'm not preaching anything, but I will say this: a year is enough for you to know if you are going to marry somebody or not.
Of course.
A year is too much. Like men, they know.
Let's just give them that year.
Yeah, let's just give you like a year. A year is enough. As a woman, once you get to the 1 year mark, be proactive. Women are not proactive. Be proactive. Ask the man, do you see me as a wife material?
How many yards?
Yes, these are discussions that women need to start having. Because by the time you spend 5 years with the one person,
what can you do 5 years dating?
I rather split the 5 years into 5 people. Because I don't understand why are you spending yourself that much?
It's what I'm saying. This discussion, I don't think I
time is up. 1 minute or like 30 seconds. What do you have to tell people just on advice? People at home that are watching us right now.
Okay, in the spirit of Easter celebration, I will say this is a moment whereby we share love, and whatever you have, as little as you have, so show love to people, be kind to people, and be security conscious too. A lot of things is happening, and you should be your neighbor's watch eye. Sometimes your neighbor might not know something is happening or so on. So that is why I keep advising people, create relationship with your neighbors. Good relationship with your neighbors.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much. It was nice having you on the show.
Very nice having you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence today. And I'm just going to leave you with this. Like Bright has said, be kind. This is a season of giving. Be kind, be cheerful, and you're not the only one with a problem. You're not the only one with a problem. So be kind to your fellow Nigerian. I remain your wonderful host for today, Bukola Ogungoje.
Alright, and I'll leave you with this also. We are in the mood of celebration. So try as much as you can to show love, share whatever you have. Don't be stingy. And to my Muslim friends, I love you this period. I love you so much. Many thanks for joining us on today's episode. I hope you had a swell time. Thank you. My name is Confidence Ruben. Goodbye.